Hello, and welcome back to our channel. I'm so glad you're here. I want to start with a deeply personal question. How long do you want to live? And I don't just mean how many years you want to tick off the calendar. I mean, how long do you want to truly live well, with the energy to be spontaneous, with a sharp, vibrant mind, with the sheer comfort of a body that feels healthy and serves you well every single day? If you're like most of the wonderful people in our community, you're past the 50-year mark. You've successfully navigated the demands of careers, raising a family, and perhaps the emotional shifts that come with the empty nest or retirement. And through all of that, you've realized that the small, everyday choices we make now are no longer minor details. They are the foundational pillars of your longevity. You might take your vitamins religiously. You might hit your daily step goal. But what if I told you that one of the most powerful, often overlooked longevity habits doesn't involve a fancy supplement or a complicated workout? It involves something simple, something you do or think you do every single day, your daily wash. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I shower daily. What more is there to know? I'm not a teenager anymore, and that's a perfectly fair thought. But here is the truth, the gentle reality of aging. As we get older, our skin changes, becoming less resilient. Our immune response isn't quite the quick, robust fortress it once was. And certain areas of our body, particularly the warm, dark folds, become prime habitats for microbes that can silently sabotage our health. What was a minor oversight in your younger years can become a slow, persistent health hazard in your 50s, 60s, and beyond. We're not just talking about common body odor here, which is often a superficial problem. We're talking about preventing localized infections, maintaining sharp cognitive function, and safeguarding your mobility. These are the true secrets to a high-quality, long life. Today, we're going to gently, intelligently, and caringly look at the 5 body parts that you must commit to washing daily with intention. These are the often missed hidden spots that act as breeding grounds for bacteria, fungi, and sources of potential low-grade inflammation that can subtly chip away at your quality of life, often without you even realizing the source. This isn't just a hygiene lesson. It's a masterclass in preventative health, a profound, simple act of self-care. Stay with me, because what you learn today could be one of the simplest yet most powerful upgrades to your longevity strategy. 1. The underside of your fingernails, your hidden petri dish. The first area is one that truly shocked me when I first looked into the science behind it. It's an area you use constantly, yet rarely clean deliberately, the underside of your fingernails. Think about your day. You open doors, you garden, you handle groceries, you type on a keyboard, you prepare food, you fold laundry. Everything you touch, whether you see the dirt or not, deposits bacteria, fungus, and microscopic debris right under that little white edge of your nail. Studies have shown that the area beneath the fingernails is one of the dirtiest parts of the human body, acting as a harbor for a vast number of pathogens, including common ones like E. coli and Salmonella. As we age, our immune system often takes a little longer to marshal its defenses. A simple accidental scratch near your mouth or eye, or even just touching your face after handling something contaminated, can innocently introduce these serious pathogens into your system. For someone in their 50s or 60s, a strong immune system is a non-negotiable longevity pillar, and reducing the constant microbial load on the body is a huge benefit. Let me share the story of Eleanor. Eleanor was a vibrant 72-year-old artist and passionate baker in her community garden club. She was meticulous about her hand washing after obvious tasks, but she'd often forget the underside of her nails during her quick hand rinse. She started developing a persistent, itchy rash near her eye that multiple doctors struggled to diagnose, until one sharp dermatologist finally traced it back to a common, yet aggressive, fungus found right under her nails. The fungus, likely picked up from the soil in her beloved garden, was being transferred to her eye when she rubbed an itch. It was a wake-up call that the small detail of the nail bed could have such a big impact on her quality of life and comfort. The daily commitment: it's not enough to run soap over your hands. You need to use a small, soft nail brush, a very inexpensive tool, or the opposite thumbnail to gently and thoroughly scrub under the edge of each fingernail with soap every single day, preferably before bed. This simple 15-second action is a profound barrier against infection and a silent guardian of your immune system. If you want a long, healthy life, you must commit to this simple act of precision hygiene. 2. The back of your ears and behind the earlobes, the forgotten glands. Next, let's talk about an area that is frequently bathed, but rarely washed with the necessary intention. The back of your ears and the crease right behind the earlobes. This area is a major longevity zone because it's an anatomical fold and is home to a high concentration of sebaceous glands. These glands produce sebum, an oily, waxy substance that is your skin's natural moisturizer. The issue is, when this oil, along with dead skin cells, traces of shampoo, conditioner, or even hairspray, is allowed to build up, it creates a slightly acidic, moist, and warm environment, a perfect incubator for certain yeasts and bacteria. The result isn't just a slightly waxy or flaky patch that you might occasionally feel when you scratch your head. This chronic low-level inflammation can lead to a common but nagging skin condition called seborrheic dermatitis, which is uncomfortable. More importantly, it signifies an area where your body's local defenses are constantly preoccupied dealing with a preventable buildup. For those of us who wear glasses, use hearing aids, or use heavier moisturizing creams, this buildup can be accelerated, sometimes leading to a faint, stale, or cheesy odor that others might notice but would never dream of mentioning to you. Take the case of Robert, a retired professor. Robert was known for his sharp suits and an even sharper mind, but he often suffered from recurring itchiness and a faint yellow crust right where his reading glasses rested. He was convinced it was an allergy to the plastic frames. It was actually the simple buildup of unwashed sebum and dead skin cells, exacerbated by the pressure of his glasses. A gentle, daily, deliberate scrub with a washcloth and a mild, non-drying cleanser, the same one he used on his face, solved the issue in a week, not only removing the irritation, but eliminating the need for expensive medicated creams. The daily commitment. When you wash your face or your hair in the shower, intentionally use a soapy fingertip or a corner of your washcloth to massage behind your earlobes and in the crease where the ear meets the head. Use a gentle circular motion. This simple, mindful stroke clears the path for healthy skin, prevents local inflammation, and removes that sneaky inflammatory buildup that can silently tax your skin health. 3. The navel belly button, the body's warm, deep pocket. Our third body part is often considered a dead end of the body, but it's actually a surprisingly busy metropolis for microbes. The navel, or belly button. Consider the anatomy again. Your navel is a deep, warm, and often damp pocket, especially after a workout or a shower. It's a perfect collector of lint from your clothes, dead skin cells, body oil, and sweat. Researchers have actually studied the microbial diversity of the human navel and found an incredibly rich ecosystem, with hundreds of different species of bacteria in this one tiny, unassuming spot. Now, most of these microbes are harmless, part of our natural flora, but when they are left to multiply in a feast of collected debris and moisture, they can easily cause an unpleasant odor, a chronic fungal or bacterial infection, or a minor yet persistent localized inflammation. And this inflammation is a key point for our longevity discussion. Chronic, low-grade inflammation in any part of the body, even a small patch of skin, is a factor that accelerates the aging process and can exacerbate other underlying health conditions elsewhere in the body. Ignoring the navel is essentially giving a small but active colony of microbes a free pass to thrive. Let's talk about Martha. Martha had been struggling with a mild recurring abdominal discomfort and a strange, itchy sensation that doctors initially dismissed as mild indigestion or a touch of eczema. Eventually, they discovered a low-grade fungal infection in her navel, hidden deep in the folds of her innie belly button. It wasn't the main cause of any serious disease, but it was a persistent source of distracting irritation and discomfort that was taxing her immune system and generally making her feel off. Once she started incorporating a deliberate navel wash and drying routine, Not only did the itch and irritation disappear, but she reported a subtle, overall lift in her abdominal comfort and well-being. The daily commitment. This area requires a soft touch and a thorough, precise approach. During your shower, dip a clean, wet cotton swab in a little mild soap and water, and gently but firmly swirl it around the inside of your navel to capture and lift the debris. If you have an outie, it's much simpler. Just a good scrub with a soapy washcloth. The key, just like with the feet, is to dry it thoroughly afterward. A dry, clean navel is a sign of a body that's not wasting its precious immune resources on a preventable pocket of microbes and inflammation. 4. The soles of your feet and between the toes. Your mobility's foundation. Our fourth longevity zone takes us down to the foundation of our independence and mobility, the soles of your feet and, crucially, between your toes. When we talk about longevity, we aren't just talking about a long life. We're talking about functional longevity, the ability to move well without pain. Our feet are constantly bearing our weight, and for many hours a day they are encased in shoes and socks that are warm, dark, and moist with sweat. This environment is an ideal laboratory for fungus, like the common athlete's foot, bacteria, and the accumulation of dead skin. Neglecting this area is literally undermining your mobility. Here is the profound, critical connection to aging. A persistent fungal infection or inflammation in the feet can cause minor discomfort that subtly, over time, changes your gait, which can lead to knee, hip, or back pain. Furthermore, in people with underlying conditions like diabetes or poor circulation, a simple, untreated crack or fungal infection in the skin can become a serious, even life-threatening bacterial infection. Foot health is a direct and powerful predictor of mobility and independence in later life. Consider the story of Mr. Davies, a charming but notoriously stubborn gentleman in his late 60s who loved to golf. He'd rinse his feet quickly in the shower, but he never truly scrubbed or dried between his toes, where moisture and fungus loved to hide. He developed a nagging itch and eventually a crack in the skin between his fourth and fifth toes. This seemingly small crack became a doorway for a more serious bacterial infection that laid him up in bed for several weeks, severely curtailing his mobility and preventing him from golfing. His wake-up call was the hard realization that a 30-second scrub and dry could have saved him weeks of discomfort and a significant loss of independence. The daily commitment. During every shower, you must lift each foot, use a foot brush or a soapy washcloth, and deliberately scrub the entire sole, the heel, and, most importantly, run the soapy cloth between all your toes. But the wash is only half the battle. After drying your body, sit down if you need to, and thoroughly dry between every toe with a clean towel. This removes the moisture that allows fungus to thrive. Dry, clean feet are the first, most fundamental defense in maintaining your mobility and protecting your independence as you age. 5. The roof of your mouth and tongue, your digestive gateway. Finally, we arrive at a critical yet frequently underestimated area, the roof of your mouth and your tongue. You likely brush your teeth twice a day, which is excellent. But how often? Do you dedicate attention to the landscape of your tongue and the roof of your mouth? The tongue, with its thousands of tiny papillae, is a magnificent collector of bacteria, dead cells, and food debris. This sticky collection is what often causes bad breath, but the implications go far deeper for longevity. The bacteria that thrive on your tongue and in your mouth don't just stay there. They are the same bacteria that, when swallowed, can affect your delicate gut microbiome, and when they travel down your throat, can contribute to upper respiratory issues. Furthermore, chronic inflammation in the mouth, whether from gum disease or a heavily coated, neglected tongue, has been increasingly linked by scientific research to more systemic issues like heart disease and even accelerated cognitive decline. Your mouth is the gateway to your entire digestive and respiratory system. Keeping it clean is a foundational, non-negotiable act of internal longevity and preventative care. Think of Sarah, a retired school librarian. Sarah was meticulous about flossing and brushing but never used a tongue scraper. She was constantly plagued by a slight, metallic, stale taste that interfered with her full enjoyment of food, a simple pleasure she treasured. Once her dentist suggested a daily tongue scrape and a rinse that paid attention to the roof of her mouth. The taste disappeared. Her breath improved dramatically, and she felt a tangible sense of internal freshness that she hadn't realized she was missing. It was a complete refresh for her mouth's microbial landscape. The daily commitment. After brushing your teeth, use a tongue scraper or the bristles on the back of your toothbrush and gently but firmly clean your entire tongue from back to front 3 to 5 times. Then, rinse your mouth with water, paying attention to swish it over the roof of your mouth. This simple final step in your oral hygiene routine removes the microbial sludge that can silently sabotage your digestive health and contribute to systemic low-level inflammation that we are trying so hard to avoid as we age. It's a literal breath of fresh air for your health and a wise investment in your long-term vitality. We've covered 5 areas: the underside of your nails, the back of your ears, your navel, between your toes, and your tongue, that when washed with intentionality are no longer just hygiene habits. They are profound acts of self-care and powerful, simple strategies for extending your health span, not just your lifespan. Longevity isn't a grand, complicated secret reserved for the privileged few. It is built brick by brick, moment by moment, through the intelligent, consistent choices we make for ourselves. These small washes, these thoughtful rubs and scrubs, are you telling your body, I see you, I care for you, I am protecting the foundation of our life together. By committing to these 5 simple steps, you are actively reducing your body's microbial burden and its need to fight preventable inflammation. I want to invite you to do something right now. The next time you take your shower, I want you to make it a mindful longevity ritual. Don't just go through the motions. Stop for a moment and feel the difference when you deliberately scrub under your nail, when you dry thoroughly between your toes, when you cleanse your tongue. This is you, actively taking control of your health. And then, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 body parts have you been unknowingly neglecting? What simple 1-minute change will you make starting today to boost your longevity? Please share your thoughts and commitments in the comments below. Your experience could be the exact inspiration someone else in our community needs to make this small, life-changing switch. If this gentle guide has given you a fresh, intelligent perspective on your daily routine, please give this video a like. It helps us reach more wonderful people like you who are committed to living a long, vibrant life. And if you haven't already, subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into healthy aging. Finally, share this with a friend or family member who truly deserves to enjoy many more healthy, comfortable years. Thank you for spending this valuable time with me. Be gentle with yourself, be consistent, and be well. I'll see you in the next video.